Some time ago, I made a video and called it "Flat Earth Fully Explained: Jet Airplane Flight Path." And in the video, I explained how anybody, without any fancy tools, just with their observational skills, they could prove to themselves that the Earth is round and not flat. But it turns out that quite a few people refuted, or I'm not sure that's the right word, but didn't agree with my description. So then I came up with another idea, and I made a video, and I made a video, and I called it the Flat Earth Experiment. And then supposedly with this experiment, I was going to hopefully prove to people that still have doubts, that the Earth is round. And in that video, I explained what I was going to do. It turns out I was not able to do it. Part of the reason is because of I have limited equipment. My telescope, even though it's a great telescope, is not good enough. And my camera, even though it's a decent camera, I got it really cheap, but still, it's a decent camera. It's still not good enough. But the biggest obstacle was my location, because from my location, going west or east, there's big cities that I would not be able to distinguish the airplane that I'm recording. Is this airplane going in for a landing, or is it going over the horizon further on its way to a place further out? So the biggest obstacle was my location. So then I figured, hopefully somebody might take up the mantle, and the perfect place to do this would be somewhere in the Pacific Coast. If you have access to a tall building, it'll make it even better, but it's not necessary. And if you have a telescope, maybe better than this one, you don't need like a huge fancy telescope and camera. You need just something that you can follow the flight path over the horizon. The idea is that as if you can record an airplane going over the horizon at the Pacific, where there's nowhere it could be landing. If you record it, and you record it as it going down like this, right? The airplane should be parallel to the ground directly underneath. I mean, I don't mean it should. It is parallel to the ground underneath. So in essence, what you're doing is you're proving that the ground is curved. That you're indirectly, because of the airplane, you're seeing the angle or the curvature of the Earth. And by the way, there's quite a few flat Earth videos where they say that they record over an ocean or a lake or something, and they can see, let's say, an oil rig that's supposed to be miles away, and they say, well, why can I still see it if the Earth is curved? Why can I still see the oil rig? Well, I don't know. It depends on how high you are and all that stuff, but also, if you just look further away from the oil rig, you'll see the horizon, the line of the horizon. That line is the curvature of the Earth. If the Earth was flat, that line would not be there. You would just continuously see to the ends of the Earth, to the other side of the ocean or the sea, whatever you might be looking at. The mere fact that you cannot see that line is there, that there is a horizon, it proves that the Earth is round. The horizon is the curvature of the Earth. If you're seeing a horizon, that's the curvature of the Earth. That proves that that the Earth is curved or round. So anyways, though, so I was hoping to inspire somebody to do what I've been trying to do, but to do it over here in the Pacific or the Atlantic coast. It doesn't matter. The Pacific is slightly better because of the water being colder, supposedly being colder, and it would affect the optics. But still, you should be able to do it from the Atlantic. At least you should be able to do it better than I could here in West Texas. I was able to videotape a lot of cool things with this telescope. Like for example, I videotaped a few weeks ago, Mars was the closest it ever is to the Earth, and I'll link that video right here. So it's actually pretty cool. And I also videotaped the moon coming up. I'll link that over here. And both of those is strong evidence that the Earth is round. But I think this will be the last video that I'm going to do about flat Earth. Ever since I found out that the flat earthers, they don't just think that the Earth is flat. They actually think that there's a dome, a glass or glass-like dome on top of the Earth, keeping the atmosphere in. If you believing that the Earth is flat, despite all the evidence, is bad enough, but believing that there's a dome on top of it, 24,000 miles wide dome, glass dome on top of it, without any structure in the middle holding it up. If you believe that, then you believe in magic. Reason is not your thing. So me trying to reason with them is pointless. So this will be my last video, but I still hope that somebody might take up my flat Earth challenge, which is to videotape an airplane as it goes over the horizon on one of the oceans, either the East Coast or the West Coast, the Pacific. I guess that's it.